Well, here goes for another one. Today, I want to talk about the disgusting bullshit alpha male culture we have, especially on the internet, and what a poison that it is for men, young men, men of all walks of life, from all walks of life. These guys, and I'm not gonna mention any names. If you're a young, especially a young guy, and you're, circling around, spinning around in those circles, and you're just coming across these guys on the web and watching their content and observing it. And I know some of you drank the Kool Aid, you bought into the horse shit that they try to sell you. The usual is, yeah, make money, go to the gym, and then girls will come to you, and it's laughable in the sense that some of them even go out there and you could tell it's paid acting, like they mimic talking to women on the streets and how to pick up women and stuff. And obviously it's the usual, right? Make as much money as you can. It's all about money, 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 money. Which there's a lot of truth. The fact that you do need to make your money, obviously, but money's a moat. Money is not about getting woman. Money is security. Money is a shield, and it's a sword. But when I watch these guys, I laugh my ass off, to be honest with you, because Jesus Christ, man, what are you selling these young men? Huh? So you're literally telling them, hey, bro, you want to escape the system? You don't want to be a slave on the plantation anymore? Yeah. The way to do that is make a lot of money. And you know how you're going to do that? By being a slave on the plantation, by having no fucking life whatsoever, by dedicating your entire life being obsessed by pussy and getting pussy and being drawn to pussy and drawing as much pussy to yourself as possible. And obviously, having a second, third, fourth, fifth, 10 fucking business just so you can make money, just so you can have digits in the end of your bank account. These guys, what are they selling? How is it any different than they're just repackaging slavery just in a different way? And you watch their videos, whether on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, right? I mean, whenever I cross them, once the blue moon, the algorithm throws me one or two here. I guess it does it either for race baiting or it just tries to get me to laugh. I'm not sure. But anyway, I saw one the other day. Again, I'm not gonna mention names, but this curly hair, tall fucking guy. This guy is one of the most pathetic ones. Young guy too. Yeah, if you're an alpha male, you don't even need to argue with your woman. If my woman even raises her voice to me, like I'm already out the room. Like how are these fucking faggots any different than these? I'm a feminist. I'm all for humanity. I'm all for women rights. But behind closed doors, these are the most fucking rapists slash pedophile fucks that ever walked the earth. How are these constantly different? And what I mean by that is the fact that they're the same guys. If they're telling you this on screen, they're the biggest beta cock sucking bitches behind closed door. Like for a fact, you know that. Come on, man. It's always the same fucking shit in the modern world, man. For a lot of reasons, a lot of things we're blessed. But a lot of things, honestly, fuck the modern world. You watch these guys, right? You watch these guys, especially after COVID, they really blew up. See, they grew up because they're trying to be the answer to a disease. But what they're trying to sell you is one of the many ways is the cure is individual prowess. You have to just level up. You have to break through this barrier, and then you're all good, right? When in fact the answer is much more systematic. My friends, the average female today, I mean, this goes for the male too, but the average female today is completely zoned out. You know? The average young female today has no social skills to speak of. The average young female today is complete. I mean, what 50%, especially white females, right? 50% of them are close to 50 years on some type of SSRIs, and the studies that's been coming out of them year after year. I mean, like, the latest one I saw is the fact that it even a massive impact on them feeling, a range of emotions that they need to feel in order to form a bond, especially with a male. You're fighting against a system that teaches these young Gen Z females. I mean, everybody's seen the graphs, whether you're talking about Japan, South Korea, whether you're talking about here in the West, Canada, all over the Western nation. Females moving straight up to the left, political wise. Males are now taking a huge divergence to the right. Whereas even the last 10 years ago, it used to go, men were still more conservative, but women were still more liberal. But that the delta between, the gap was not nowhere near what it's becoming. Now it's becoming a giant's chasm. So it's a systematic problem. It's not, yo, bro, go level up. Go level up, bro. And then you're gonna get these women out there. Yeah, you might get it, like you'll get one or two, but so what? It's a systematic problem. You know, if the Titanic is sinking, did it matter if you're rich? You know, you're still gonna go down with the fucking ship, right? So it doesn't really matter. So this is the same situation, except this is on a civilizational level. You know, you watch these guys, man. You watch these guys. You laugh your ass off. The thing they try to sell men to stay on the plantation. Yeah, stay. But no. Stay on the plantation. You're not on the plantation. You're actually out. You're a fucking masculine alpha male warrior. Get the fuck out of here. Honestly, fuck all of you. Masculinity, and I've said this before. This is one of my always going to be my biggest talking points. Balance in all things. I believe God lies in the balance in all things too. I believe, it sounds nice and sounds poetic when you say it, balance. It sounds nice. It sounds safe, but it's actually possibly the most difficult thing to pull off as a human being. Have be able to be known as he is or she is the most balanced person I've known. I don't think there's a bigger compliment than that. To be able to walk the edge of between two extremes. Well, I'm sorry, one extreme here, one extreme there, but you are walking straight in the middle. You're not tilting to one side or another. Your personality, the level of discernment you practice from moment to moment every day, you're an exceptional human being. There's nothing more I can say to you about that. So, and yeah, like here we are at this point. Back to it. I mean, the modern female, again, most of these apply for modern males too, especially young guys, but like young women, they are completely checked out. They do not live in the same reality as you anymore. And I'm talking about that obviously with the phones in their hands. That's you see that. Like they're in the room with you physically, but whether you want to call it mentally or spiritually, they're completely somewhere far away. And like we're human beings. We That's what we do, right? We take good ideas, we take good concepts, we take decent things, and then we take a shit on them enough times until it turns into some level of monstrosity and mutates into whatever this is today that we're dealing with. You, as young men today, I'll tell you this right now: you need to be angry. But when I say be angry, I'm not telling you go chimp out, go start burning and killing and looting and whatnot. No, be angry. Let that anger fuel the fire inside you. But let that fire always be underneath the skin. Let it funnel out of you. Think of like a nozzle, like a muzzle, like an inch thick, something small. Let it funnel out of you in such a controlled flow and environment that you're always in charge of it, always in control of it. And it always feeds you and fuels you. But that's part of being masculinity. That is what its masculinity is truly one of its tenets is about. Not to go out there and fucking rage out and chimp out and act out and lash out and cry and whine. The lives of men have always been sad, difficult, depressing, happy. But obviously, happiness is just certain moments. Those moments only last for a brief time and then they fade away. And if you work hard enough, if you're patient enough, and if you're diligent enough, there'll be another moment coming around the corner soon, and then the cycle repeats over and over again. And that's the best you can hope for in a life as men. You bring value to this world. You bring value to your community, and that value is in so many ways. Do women do the same thing? Yes, but in different ways. But obviously, we lost sight of all that, right? So we live in a shit piss world, whatever you want to call it anymore. But that's the way it is now. But yes, be angry, but exactly the way I told you. Do not fall into despair. It's just the way it is. You know, if you want to change it, it has to be a systematic change. You know, and it's always gonna come down to this for me. I keep telling you since my first video. I'm gonna say it forever. My own personal life. There is one source of evil. It looks like there's many troubles ahead, but it's just that one evil that manifests itself in different forms. There's nothing else to say. There are powers that be here that, again, ask yourself who benefits, right? Who benefits from male and female division? Who benefits from I'm Muslim, you're Christian, you're Jewish, you're trans, you're genderqueer, you're this, you're that. Divide and conquer by Julius Caesar, right? But magnified with steroids times 1,000 now. Who benefits? I mean, it's brilliant. It's brilliant plan. It's absolutely brilliant, right? Put them in even smaller and smaller and smaller boxes and units and divide them even more and more and more, and they become more and more. So by virtue of you're becoming more hyper individualistic, yet at the end of the day, we're all consuming the same shit. We're wearing the same type of clothes from the same brand, same companies. It's just they're all subsidiary of other, from one giant conglomerate. So at the end of the day, like I said, we're consuming the same type of entertainment from the same companies. How the fuck are we any different? But we're supposed to be individualistic. Again, that's a copium. That's a copium they're selling to us, and we're happily drinking it, pretending. I like to think that most of us know that we know that we're on this, fucking slave wagon. It's just everything is lies and shambles nowadays, and we're being sold nothing but fucking magic and fairy dust. But I don't know. I mean, a lot of these big events happening throughout the world. You think people will start rising up, especially in the Western world, but nobody's doing shit. And for me, this is my again. I've said this before, but I'm gonna keep saying it. This is my way of doing some shit. It's not easy to put your face and your voice out there, especially your opinions. And my opinions, I'd say 80 to 90% of them are very controversial. And I'm gonna keep going. But it's systematic, my friends. It really is systematic. It is all systematic. We need to solve this on an individual level. You do what you can. Masculinity, males would yes, go to gym, yes, go make your money. Build yourself a moat. What was it Aristotle or Socrates that said, "I pity the man who never sees his physical peak." Obviously, I'm rephrasing, but it's somewhere along these lines. Yes, go see what your physical peak is capable of. Go climb that mountain, swim on that ocean. Just go canoe, kayak, do the things you want to do. Go bike that 150, 200 kilometers. Push yourself to the limit. Test yourself. Be proud at the end of the day. The fact that I've done this, I accomplished this. Lord knows in today's world, we need that more than ever. But this whole sacrifice your own life, be obsessed with pussy and only want to get pussy and try to drown yourself in pussy, and that's the sign of male championship, male success. Get the fuck out of my face with that horseshit. And I am convinced a lot of these men, especially the ones that are higher up, the ones that are really popular, they are talking pieces. They are puppets. They are being used by the powers that be. Once again, to go out there, push this rhetoric, and that's a conversation for another time. But I think if you're smart enough, you know where I'm going with this and why they're doing this, right? Bullshit, my friends. It really is all bullshit. We have to have a systematic way of thinking. We need to bring women into the fold. They are not the enemy. They are just brainwashed. Us men are brainwashed to a lesser extent. We are made to be scapegoats for a lot of things. We are made to be cannon fodder. We always were cannon fodder, but women are cannon fodder as well, but for a different cause, different set of problems, different conversation. We need to bring them back into the fold. This will be solved not by through your individualistic way of thinking. This will be solved in a systematic manner. They have dismantled everything we loved, everything we challenged in a systematic manner. They attacked us both from the grassroots and from the top, right? As above, so below. As below, so above. That's what I got to say about today. I want to leave it short and sweet. I guess, under 15 minutes. And thank you guys for watching. And seriously, subscribe and comment. Nice. I got a new subscriber now. So now I'm up to 5 in total. Take care.